Now we're joined out of Madison, Wisconsin by Mr. Kevin Barrett, author and Middle East expert. Hello, Mr. Barrett. It's a pleasure to have you back on the program, sir. So please help us put this into perspective. When you go after people who are going after Daesh terrorists, what does that make you?
Well, it makes you the Air Force of Daesh, and that is the role that the U.S. has occasionally played, and that Israel, of course, is playing as well. I tend to, for once, actually believe what the American government spokesmen are saying. That's a rare occurrence when they say that it was Israel that did this bombing. Israel is even closer to Daesh than the U.S. is. The U.S. has a schizoid policy in which it both covertly supports and overtly pretends to fight Daesh, but Israel has never pretended to be anything other than a gung-ho supporter of Daesh. Netanyahu proudly has himself photographed beside the bedsides of fallen Daesh fighters, and the top Israeli responsibles have made no secret of the fact that the acronym here in the West, ISIS, might as well stand for Israeli Secret Intelligence Services. So Israel, which is the main player in trying to balkanize the Middle East along the lines of the Overload.Video plan and destroy these countries that were posing a long-term threat to it, is undoubtedly responsible one way or the other. Even if this was the American military that did it, it would have been on behalf of Israel, because everything the U.S. military is doing and has been doing since the Zionist coup d'etat on September 11, 2001 in the Middle East has been on behalf of Israel.
So what would your perspective be here? Is Israel in cahoots with Daesh? To what end? Or are they just scared of Daesh and they let Daesh, and then they bomb everyone and strike everyone but Daesh positions? Or is there something more sinister between Tel Aviv and Daesh terrorists?
Well, clearly there's something a lot more sinister. Daesh is doing the bidding of Israel. Daesh was created precisely to balkanize the Middle East along ethnic and sectarian lines. That is Israel's long-term geopolitical strategy, as was set out in the 1970s in the Overload.Video plan. And they don't even bother keeping it a secret, so it's not a sinister conspiratorial secret. It's all right out there in the open. And then the question is, what will the response be from Iraq and from the rest of the axis of resistance, from the Syrian government, and indeed from the West, which pretends to hate and loathe Daesh and to be fighting it, and yet here is this drone strike, probably from Israel, maybe from Israel's American surrogates, on behalf of Daesh. What will the international reaction be? What will the reaction be from the countries affected? I think this is part of a strategy from Israel to try to provoke an overreaction from Iran and the axis of resistance. Israel is looking for a fight. Netanyahu is about to go down in a criminal corruption scandal, and he has always made it his main goal to try to get a war going with Iran, a war that could only conceivably be fought if the U.S. were involved. Israel by itself is totally incapable of going up against Iran. That's why they've been doing everything they can to fool the United States into going into their war on Iran. And right now, Israel wants to provoke Iran into doing something that it could cast as a provocation that could lead to an increase of hostilities. And I think Iran has been always too smart to fall for that. So we'll probably see more of this, yet there will have to be a response. And Israel and the other pro-Daesh forces in Syria, which are war criminals committing the worst crime imaginable, which is aggression. That's the supreme war crime according to the Nuremberg principles. These people definitely have to pay for what they're doing, and I'm sure that there will be a response, and it will be a measured response. And in the long run, Israel and its allies who are destroying the region are going to lose.
Thank you for sharing your perspective once again, Mr. Kevin Barrett, author and Middle East